Hey y'all, I'm back with another beautiful tumbler. Here is what I'm gonna start with. We already prepped, sanded our tumbler outside. We are now going to go in with some epoxy parts A and parts B. The glitter that we're going to be using today is going to be Venetian from Peachy Olive Glitters. So, like I said, we've already sanded the cup, so you guys know that process. If you don't, you can go back to my previous videos and you'll be able to see that process. You want to make sure that your epoxy is mixed together really well. For this tumbler, because I was doing the hang method, I only needed no more than 1 ml. So I didn't even use, I don't think, a full ml on this cup. So I mixed it up really well. And now we're gonna go ahead and just kind of like dig out what little bit is in there and add it to the cup. Once we've added it to the cup, we want to make sure that we get every bit. You'll see me kind of like grabbing at the bottom of the cup just to like almost gripping it, just to make sure that the cup itself is fully covered in epoxy, because you want everything, every piece of glitter to hit every bit of this tumbler. So next we're gonna go in, we're gonna sprinkle on all the beautiful things. So here we are adding on Venetian, again from Peachy Olive Glitters, and all the codes for all the things will be listed down below in the description box. So we're going to make sure that the tumbler is fully covered, top and bottom, again, because this is going to be something that is most likely going to be seen. Once we do this, we are going to let the tumbler sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes before we roll the glitter flat. Once we flatten out the glitter, this is going to help secure anything on that's like excess on the tumbler, anything that needs to come off. That's what that is going to help with. It will also help you when it comes to epoxying. A lot of people are completely terrified of using chunky glitter. So as long as you flatten your glitter out and you use a couple of coats of quick coat and then epoxy it, you won't have trouble with sanding any of that down. Next, we're gonna go in, and I've brought out my cutting tool for my paper cutting tool, and you'll see that little silver bar. All right, we're gonna take a piece of painter's tape, and we are going to line up our tumbler with that tape and that silver bar, so we have a straight line. I've tried this before where I would cut a line into the tumbler, into my epoxy, and because I'm so heavy-handed, I've cut too deep. So when I've applied other layers of glitter onto it, it would cause issues. You would still be able to see it underneath. So I wanted to do it a little bit different, and I just lined it up that way. So next we're gonna go in with our already cut vinyl. I thought I recorded this, but I could not find the footage anywhere. So we're just gonna go in with the vinyl. This vinyl is also from Peachy Olive Glitters. We are going to cut away the backing of it, just a little bit of it, just so we can line it up, make sure it's right before we squeegee it completely onto the tumbler. So we're gonna cut away just less of an inch, about a half an inch maybe, and then we're going to line it up. Before you line it up with the tumbler and you add this on, please make sure that your vinyl is right side up. This has flamingos and monsteras on it, so you want to make sure that the direction of the flamingos, for instance, my tumbler, it is facing the top of the cup and then going down. I've done this with another cup, and luckily I bought multiple of that vinyl because I did it upside down. I could have sold it that way at a discount, but who wants their product to go out like that? So I wanted to make sure that this was on correctly and to make sure that it was lined up. Then we're going to take our huge squeegee that we got from Amazon. Thank you, Amazon. This came through clutch because I have been applying full wraps with minimal to no bubbles at all because of the squeegee. We're going to go right before the tape so we can pull back that blue painter's tape, and then we can pull off any overhang, and then we can lay the rest of that vinyl piece flat. Once that is all flat, we're going to pull off this adhesive, this transfer tape. Now, I know some of you guys have asked me about the painter's tape, about the you guys have asked me about the transfer tape that I used. I will be switching to something different. I'm trying to test out a couple different ones. As you can see, it's really hard to pull this painter's tape. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. Pulling this transfer tape off is really hard. It also leaves a residue, and I do not like that because it makes my my tumbler a little bit tacky. So once we've gotten that all off, the edges are typically the ones that aren't completely lined up because the pattern that you're using, you're typically going to make it bigger than what is needed, so you can make adjustments after the pattern is added to the tumbler. So we're going to lift up some of those pieces, and you'll kind of see me here going in with either my X-Acto knife or my weeding tool to lift some of those vinyl strips just to readjust them. And it's not really hard at all. It's just, I think as artists, we are all we want everything to be right. In a picture perfect world, it could be, but just take your time and add it to where you see fit. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to, semi line up or line up. So we're going to adjust all of those, make sure they're all good. And then once all of that is adjusted, then we will go and cut out our gold pieces, and we are offsetting the gold to go on top of the Flamingo. So initially I was like, I'm not going to do an outline, but then I was like, I need something to break it up. So I just recently partnered with Tech Wrap Craft. You guys will have a discount code to Tech Wrap to save, and that'll be down below as well. Make sure you take this film off, because if not, it's going to be really hard when you try to transfer it over, and you're going to have little pieces of film everywhere. I'm cutting out 12 inches of this. I'm not going to use all 12 inches on this tumbler, but I do use all the excess vinyl that is left over for other projects like keychains and different things like that. So never waste your material. This stuff is too expensive. I don't want to fuss at y'all, but y'all already know. So we're just going to flatten it out. I have a silhouette machine, so I'm going to take this over to my silhouette, get it cut out. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and just sand this cup down. As we're sanding, we want to hit those areas that have kind of like, not so major bumps on it, but we want to kind of smooth some of it out. At this point, your tumbler should already have 2 coats of epoxy on it, so that when you start to apply these outlines, you're not seeing the line underneath under that piece of vinyl. So once we have our outlines, we are going to go in one by one and place them on by hand. You're not going to use transfer tape, because as you can kind of see in the background, I offset this image. So there's going to be a zebra print plus the outline of that zebra print because I offset it. The reason why I do that, again, is because I use it for other projects. I don't like to waste anything, so I will be using this on another project later. Also, I only recorded this one bit of me adding this piece on, and my phone died. I have been recording all day this day and did not pay any attention to what was going on with my phone. I was just kind of like in and out. I was in my zone. So we are going to continue to add the outlines. I'm not going to lie to you, this process takes a little bit. It took me about 20 to 30-ish minutes to complete the entire cup because I wanted to make sure everything was aligned with the zebra stripes. So that is the lengthiest part of this tutorial, or this tumbler itself. But it turned out gorgeous once it was fully completed. You may have to cut some excess pieces because things may be too long or too short, that type of thing. But again, it turned out beautiful once it was complete, especially those of you who have already seen it. I feel like I run around the house like showing my husband like every time I make a tumbler, like, oh my God, this is what it looks like. But we're gonna finish it off with this one vinyl strip, cut that up, add 2 layers of epoxy, and then your cup is done. All right. I appreciate you guys for always joining in, coming to have little chats with me in the comment section. It's really appreciated. If you guys want to see more from me, please like, comment, and subscribe. And here is the beautiful tumbler. Talk to you later. Bye.